Mindmajix is a leading global online training platform which is going to offer around 500 plus IT courses. It's into all domains, and it has trained around 410,000 students, 410,000 students around the globe. It's been almost 8 years. Mindmajix is into this profession and well going until now. We offer the OSB as well as SOA certification as well as training courses. So it's a course content which also covers the certification part also. So that's how it is. Coming to today's topic, we are going to understand what is Oracle Service Bus, why do we need an Oracle Service Bus, and what's the architecture, how the components are, and exactly what the things are about the Oracle Service Bus. Before we start, I would just like to state that we do not really require any prerequisites to learn Oracle Service Bus. It is quite simplified one, but we have to learn how to implement the part of business logic into that. More of the logical thinking on implementation part is much needed on how we can design certain integration, how we can optimize the solutions so that customer can get the business done at quick point of time and as such. So before that, let me just understand, or let us first understand what exactly Oracle Service Bus is. Coming to Oracle Service Bus, it's an integration tool which is going to integrate between two different platforms, two different platforms or two different domains. It might be any domain. It might be any domain. We might be just taking this up. It might be the space of something like uh, what do we say, SAP platform or SFDC platform, or it might be an aviation. Let us get into one of the real-time requirement or a scenario so as to understand a better way of what exactly this particular tool can do. For example, I have some aviation related flight booking site where flight tickets are booked. Let's take something like British Airways, which might be taking a travel from where the flight booking of the clients or the travelers will be done. So whenever British Airways gets the particular flight tickets booked from London to something like Paris, so most of the participants or basically travelers will be from most of the travelers will be from tourism, or they visit for tourism purpose. So what British Airways thinks of it is they want to tie up with some of the reputed hotels who can reach their brand and demand and all that. And they also want to provide the same link onto the particular website of British Airways and try to provide it as a value add service for the travelers who are traveling from this particular location called London to Paris. So they do the survey and try to find out. They find one of the best reputed which may match their brand and all this class and all that, and they, for example, something like hotels.com or something. So that particular website is being built upon the Java, whereas the British Airways is being built upon completely platform of .NET. When they want to collaborate and try to do some business, the platform differences are not allowing them to sync together. So we can use Oracle Service Bus to take the operations of the hotel booking with respect to the availability as well as the booking the suite over the hotel using hotel.com or as such, and trying to provide that particular service link to the particular British Airways, where they can, on the single click, they can access the website of that particular hotel booking and all that, and try to facilitate. It is on simple terms, irrespective of a platform. It might be any platform, e-business suite to SAP, SFDC, or any platform. This particular tool has capability where it can fit into the integration of anything. And another example which I might try to just make it pretty closer is something like I have developed a mobile application, and has a value add to my customer. I also wanted to involve two information, something like climate information like temperature and location, the where the particular mobile tracking device is, and the other traffic updates on the small block, so that if they want to have the view of those two things, I want they can access my mobile application and view the climate condition as well as the traffic updates of that particular location. When I wanted to search out for the services which are provided online, my platform is not able to really connect to them and try to get the data as I require. So what I can do is I can use the Oracle Service Bus as a middleware tool to acquire these things and provide the services to my customers on the app, providing the links and these things. So that's how Oracle Service can work as a middleware tool. Coming to small introduction, we will have two things. One is the application which provides the services, and the service user who are going to consume our service and take the service provided by the server. Why do we need as a middleware tool here Oracle Service Bus is whatever the data or whatever. For example, I was stating something like hotelbookings.com. We are taking the operation with respect to our hotel booking. There might be multiple things that might be maintenance or laundry or any sort of functionalities that needs to be accessed on their web application or mobile app or anywhere, but we need only hotel booking application or hotel order booking this particular operation. So ultimately, all the functionalities may not be needed, and they might be needed in need of some sort of customization of the data or some sort of different. So we involve here as a Oracle Service Bus component and try to provide the services as required by the user as per this. So what is the difference or what are the advantages is it provides the scalability, insulating the integration logic, and service use and the tracking and service management. Most of these points are covered in the examples that I have already enclosed to you. I was stating that this particular application can be implemented irrespective of any platform or any domain, where all it needs is the source system details and target system details, which can connect or which are needed for connection purpose, and we are going to transform the data, enhance the data, define the logic, and complete the requirement process. So the scalability is unlimited, as it states, because it's going to eliminate the problems whenever two different services are trying to interact with each other. Though it's a unlimited scalability, because I was stating from the beginning that it's a platform independent as well as domain independent. And insulating the integrating logic, we don't have to worry on complete sort of, because the tool, the easiness of runtime and these things are enhanced in such a way that the developer who is developing the integration logic can mostly concentrate on his optimizing the solution and providing the best service to the client. So that's how this particular second point speaks about. And service use and tracking, we can provide the basically secured services where the policies and these things can be implemented, which can make the services more secure. Coming to services management, services connect to the bus can be managed basically if whenever we try to get into agreements with the source and target system, there will be certain type of SLAs they might be defining that my system is going to give response in so and so time. I want, if any issue is coming, I want to get it resolved within some 5 hours of time or 6 hours of time if it is a P1 related issue. These sort of agreements will also be uh, implemented in this, because we have some option called alert where we can set the rule that these issues whenever are occurring, we get immediate intimation on that and we try to act upon that to meet the SLA requirements. That's how the provision of the tool is being made. And this is the particular architecture of the service bus, where we can connect to any type of service, whether it's a web service. JCA is something like adapters related concept, which will be much going in deeper in our training sessions. And we can also connect to SAP, Salesforce, JDBC, and REST-based, file-based, FTP, Tuxedo, EJBs. We can connect to any of the systems and try to make. And in case if we do not find this particular predefined, we say it as adapters, which will try to connect to the target systems. If those predefined adapter is not available, we can customize our own adapter using a third-party adapter, where we can just make our own sort of customization in that particular connectivity details. And coming to the part of monitoring or SLA alerts or reporting, we use basically Oracle this enterprise manager, which is going to provide the details with respect to how the payload is coming and what exactly these tracking and all these details are available. And SLA alerts are something, as I was stating, that we can set the responses if there is a delay in response of transactions, or if there is a delay in response from the target system. We can set alerts and work with the target systems on the delinquency of the particular data and all that related things. And coming to service virtualization, we, apart from the JDeveloper integration development, integrated this IDE, which is being provided for development purpose, we can also develop our application on console, SB console. So this SB console is used by us for developing this particular uh, developing the complete or entire project. I would say entire project can be developed without the usage of this particular IDE. So that's how capable this particular application is being provided. But in general, we use JDeveloper and has an IDE for development of our services, because it's going to directly activate the session and make those changes directly. Whereas in our real time, we will have multiple processes, like we have to first deploy in dev, then test it. And but whereas this is direct impact, like where I'm directly going and changing on the server. So which is not really advisable on which is not really advisable on the real-time environments. So however, they have provided the IDE. They might be using it for some administrative tasks of importing and exporting the projects and as such. So we may get into deeper, but I just wanted to get on to the concepts of why and how secure these situations are as such. So Oracle has developed, or basically this particular product has features like the part of security, as well as the other one is more lightweight, which can do the transactions very easily when compared to other applications, because of the designing or the modeling it is been designed there. Coming to the part of security, the architecture itself is going to define how secure the services are. For example, if I want to talk to this particular target system, I'll be using a business service. I'm not directly going to take the data from the customer and trying to uh, call the service provider and take the information. I'll have two services in between. One is proxy service and business service. Both of them don't even communicate directly with each other. They will use the something called pipeline. They will use something called pipeline to connect with each of them and talk with each of them. So that's how the multiple layers been inculcated. So if including multiple layers will increase security, how is it possible? Might be the question. Then I'll just try to give a small example which can prove the security part of this one. For example, understand that I have some credit card business where I have issued some 100 credit cards to my user, and my user has got like all these user details. I have stored it in one database. Whenever there is a payment gateway, or whenever the user tries to swipe his card or uses it over online, he's going to basically give all these confidential details like the name, the expiry date, and the CVV number, and those details. So these details are quite crucial. If anyone knows these details, anyone can draw the money from that particular card. So I don't know who is the one who is accessing my particular service, and they may state it's a payment gateway and try to just attack or do. So I'm not really secured, and I can't really run the business if I just say no, I'm not going to expose these details to any of the users, because the users cannot verify themselves. Then I need someone who I can believe, whom I can feel secured. So then we can implement the OSBs. It's not only that implementation I'm speaking about the security scenario, which where we can think of implementing the OSB. It is one of the scenario. So what I can state to the service provider is I am the known person because I'm the only one whom I'm going to hit the database. So what I'll do is I'll take the business service, which will act like a wrapper and just have its own only URL onto the business service, and then it is going to trigger this service. From this business service, the logical part is defined in the pipeline in turn are going to expose a proxy services to the payment gateways. So if some unethical or something which client was expecting and worried about, the maximum extent he can damage the system is a proxy service, because the name itself states that it's not a real-time service but proxy service. But it doesn't really mean that it's not a real-time service, in the sense the under wrap of this proxy is a real-time service, which in turn speaks to business service. Business service is also not real-time service. It's going to be talking and acting like a virtual service. So it will not have any information, any data, or anything over it, but it just access it, only takes that information, only gives that information. So the part of security client can just think of the architecture that the way it is being designed is very lightweight and too good to feel on the security at a architecture level, because there might be many things nowadays banking or any one might be promising, but still the debits from the cards or these things are happening definitely because they are directly exposed to those servers and they are able to hack them, do sort of ethical or whatever. But still there are certain cases which will be reported, especially in banking sector, or where we feel the confidential is the data is something related to some assets or confidentiality. Definitely the part of security that OSB provides, I don't think no other integration tool provides, because most of the integration tools I saw take the data from source and just try to define their logic and pass. But definitely they will say that they will provide the security, but as per architecture wise also, we can think of the security that until the extent the ethical hacker or anyone can just attack, this is the maximum point they can reach. So that's how secured this particular architecture is. Coming to the part of proxy services, we can have a proxy service which is always exposed to the service provider, who can give call to this one, and in turn we can have multiple calls because we may have multiple target systems on which we wish to talk, or we wanted to do some sort of implementation or as such. So this is how exactly it goes. And logical part will be always defined in the pipeline pair, which is going to act like a mediator between the, or a message flow between the proxy service as well as the business service. Okay, so that's how this is going to work here. And let me just get on. This is just a message flow. It depends on requirement to requirement how the messages are going to flow. Let us a bit brief understand on more on the part of security, because it is intended nowadays IT security is more, and it is more intended to security. I have just defined the message flow of how exactly it goes so that it can give us. So whenever a client is going to send a message, and we will also know how the message is going to process from source to target system. So whenever a client is going to send the message to a proxy service, in the proxy service, there will be two things. One is transport protocol and another one is binding layer. So in that, first, it is going to hit the transport protocol. The duty of the transport protocol is to handle the inbound messages and communication to be from the client. So it is going to take the data from the client system, and it is going to act like an entry point for Oracle Service Bus. Once after it takes the data, what is the transport protocol here is what type of document it is, whether it's a HTTP, whether it's a file base, whether it's a FTP, whether it's a JDB. So Oracle Service Bus to understand what exactly, because we are stating from the beginning also that I am going to deal with integrate between multiple platforms, multiple domains, irrespective of platform and domain we are going to implement. How? Because of the protocols that we have. So that protocol will give us an idea what type of document it is, what type of basically the message it is. So that message it understands and hands over to the binding layer. Binding layer has two jobs to perform. One is it is going to pack and unpack messages and handles the part of message security. What exactly this mean is, it is having its own language, which we can understand that it is going to read the document and write or pack it into a language which the pipeline can understand, and also checks the part of message security, whether it's a secured message, unsecured message, whether anyone sort of security that we implement is qualifying or not. Then after checking all these things, it is going to hands off the message to the pipeline. It is going to hand over the messages to the pipeline. Okay, so once after the pipeline has received, the pipeline is going to perform the transformation of the data, validation of the data, logging, reporting, and then routes the data to the business service or another proxy service. So all the logic will be defined in the pipeline. And once after the logical definition which has been defined by the developer in the pipeline is completed, it is going to basically speak to the business one, and then service bus is going to process the message. So we can understand the part of implementation. This is a diagrammatic flow where you can understand that it's going to basically take the data from proxy service and then to pipeline to business service, and then this one, and it is going to revert back to these particular systems. So this is a vice versa flow, to and fro, but the arrow marks are showing just to the two, but you can. And coming to this is a small introduction that I have prepared upon Oracle Service Bus. So we can get into deeper on the curriculum or course with Mindmajix, as it's for webinar purpose. It's been done. So I'll just show a small demonstration on this one, where we can use a welcome message sort of this. This is a ID for development of Oracle Service Bus. We can develop multiple applications on this. So let me go to File and create one application, and something like Service Bus application. Just click on OK. And let me just state it as what do we say? Service Bus application welcome message. I'll say welcome message. Click on finish. I'll create a project. So application is nothing but it's going to get all those artifacts which are needed. So those artifacts are needed by service bus. It is getting all those. So coming to project, I'm going to select the multiple projects can be implemented either SOAP or web service or Java projects or database. But we are only dealing with service bus over here. So we are going to select service bus project and click on OK. Click on finish. To create a web service, I'll just create a few of the uh, elements that is I'm going to take from the welcome message. I'll state it as welcome message.xsd. I'll just place it in the SP project folder instead of data and contents. So I'll select this and example.org, click on OK. And we are going to just create a request and a sequence which might be where we might be taking the input from a source system as name and email ID, or the one who is just logging into the website might be keying in the data. So sequence. This is the XSD. We shall give the brief information on how to create the XSD, what are the XML formats and all this in first two sessions before we start. So we'll state it as name, and second insert after this one element. Email ID is what I'll take. Okay. And I'll define the types also if needed. Otherwise, we can leave it off. Let me just define the types, whether it's a XSD string type or what type of this one is. So it's also a string type. And I would like to respond to my user who has keyed in these details on some acknowledgement. So I'm going to give the response to this and sequence, insert inside sequence, and then status element and status or acknowledgement or description, whether it's been registered or whether these have been received or not, and as such. So XSD type is also string type, and save all. So once after my XSD is created, what I can do is basically I can open SB overview is what we say, where we can see the high level view of the project. So this high level view of the project window will have what is the source system, what is the target system, and as such. But however, we are going to design as a developers, like what is the source system and what is the target system, and this proxy service will be always considered as a source. Target will be always the external services, which is a business service, and internally pipeline as well as split join options are going to define the logic. And these are all the connectors, or these are all the particular applications which we can connect, and all of them are mostly wizard based, which can be easy to run. Okay, coming to pipeline, I'll state it as pipeline welcome message and click on next. I have to expose my particular service as a web service. So I'll just select the WSDL. I don't have any WSDL which is already predefined. So I can create the WSDL based upon the XSD. Just click on this particular symbol. It is going to give sort of WSDL which we can just create. And then select on synchronous type because I want to respond. We will speak in depth in what is synchronous and asynchronous in our sessions. So just add button, request message, and search, and application SB project welcome.xsd request. This one, click OK and add button, response message, search, application schema SB project welcome.xsd response, and click on OK. Click on OK. Click on OK and click on finish. Okay, so this is how exactly this goes on. So once after I open this, I'll get a pipeline pair. Click on OK and pipeline pair. In this, I'll be just giving my response to my user. It's just a hard-coded value because it's just for a demonstration purpose. And I'm just going to respond my user back with the body and what exactly the content is, something like I'll state it as welcome to, okay, hello. I'll just state a welcome message. I'll use something like concatenation. We can have the functions over here. We can have a number of functions. In that, let me use the concatenation so that I can concatenate few of the variables and confirm. And of them, let me use some string functions as such. Strings. In that, we can go to general functions. We can use concatenation. Okay. Let me use comma. Variables, body, execute. And I'm going to request the name. So hello, name of the person is going to appear here. I'll state it as welcome to OSB world. OSB world. Stop, comma. We shall soon contact you on email ID colon. Close this one and comma, email ID, and close this and click on OK. So it's going to replace that one and replace the node contents and save all. So this is done. I have just responded back with some response for the user details. I can even call up database and do the database storage, but it will be a sort of time taking one, and we have to understand what are the options available with database, how to connect to database, how to create the JNDI and these details. So all I can do is once after this has been built, just run the program. It is going to give you automatic deployment onto this one, as well as provide you the console where you can test it on JDeveloper itself. And we can also expose this as a REST service. Any integration we can expose as a REST service on a simple clicks. By just giving a right click, we can expose it as a REST service. Any integration we want to. So that's how. So my deployment is completed and it has given me a test console to test here itself. So let me give some name, something like Sean, and email ID sean@gmail.com. Okay, and just execute. So the response data content type UTF text.xml. Let me just see here. Here is the response document. So response is being provided in a SOAP envelope, which has header and the body. It says, hello, Sean, welcome to Sova World. I would have given a space over here. We shall soon contact you on email ID that is been provided. So in this way, we can just try to coordinate between the systems and implement and do sort of implementation, whichever is being done. Okay. So let me just get back and speaking to the part of career options that we have and opportunities. It can be a developer and lead consultant, middleware consultant, and solution architect and architect as such. On a simple note, I don't want to speak much of opportunities because we know that Oracle is going to offer silver, gold, and platinum membership, and it has acquired 200 plus companies, something like PeopleSoft, Java, something like Siebel, NetSuite. So many have been already. So many have been already taken up. So these things. Companies have been provided, whoever are the partners will have silver, gold, or platinum partnership, and they are regularly, so they'll definitely try to promote the business, and the projects are in also good hope, because the PeopleSoft is mostly used in banking sector, and e-business suite is mostly in the manufacturing and multiple domains like logistics, aviation, and various other places on different modules. It too has got a cloud related versions with respect to HCM and customer relationship. So they are also using this particular integration tool like SOA as well as OSB, which are both the combination right now, so as well as OSB. So these particular are going to integrate between multiple domains. So they are going to they use their own integration space. So that's how the implementation is never ending and as such, because it has its own promotion ways. So I don't want to explore more on this. Any questions on this? We can just take it up and try to close. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.